Okay, good morning, everybody. It is 9 o'clock, so I'll go ahead and get started. Disclosure that this meeting is being recorded. By joining and participating in this session, you are giving consent to the recording. So please keep your cameras off per the NOAA Privacy Act statement. And if you have questions at the end, we'll go ahead and address all of those. Good morning. Like I said, good morning. My name is Charlotte. I'm here in Spokane. I'm joined with Brent over in Seattle, and this is the Washington and North Idaho fire briefing for Tuesday, August 5th. So we'll go ahead and get started. The upper level satellite imagery, you can see there's kind of this wave of disturbances across the Pacific Ocean. We're starting to see incoming waves of unsettled weather coming into the northwest corner of the country for the next couple days. We do have some increasing cloud cover today ahead of a frontal passage that's coming through Wednesday into Thursday. That'll bring some more unsettled weather. Taking a look at the last 24 hours worth of lightning, there's quite a bit of lightning activity in the Cascades, the northern Cascades, as well as the north central Washington areas, fire zones. There was some lightning activity in northeast Oregon and southeast Washington. And then the Idaho Panhandle had quite a bit of lightning as well, and over into Montana. The matrix for the next couple days, I'm going to start with Brent, so he can start with Western Washington, and then we'll move east. So Brent, go ahead.
Okay, as Char was showing with those disturbances coming in, we actually have a few showers out on the peninsula this morning, mostly in the north. Those will be increasing during the day today, but the real rainfall is going to be overnight and through Wednesday, and we're expecting widespread wetting rains for that. And then, and actually, some places more, it's going to hit the Cascades hardest in the north the most, where there's a chance of upwards over 1.5 inches in some locations, but more generally 1 inch in the mountains, and lowlands will still see 1/10 to 1/4. So that's where we'll get the wetting rains pretty widespread. And then as that's kind of exiting into eastern Washington, Wednesday evening into Wednesday night, we'll see probabilities go up for isolated thunderstorms. Again, that's mainly in the northern half of the western, for the western side of the Cascades, but not completely ruled out for foothill areas and even some of the lowlands. Again, the highest probabilities or for the northern part of western Washington. And then that stays cool, and even some showers bleeding into Thursday, but we clear out Friday, and then Saturday through Sunday we have a warming and drying trend, and even getting to the point of right now potentially hot and dry on Monday. I make that conditionally elevated conditions, because it really will depend on how much rain we get in certain areas. So if there are some areas that are missed with those heavier showers, that could be an elevated fire weather risk area when we turn hot and dry early next week. All right, that's back to you, Shar.
Okay, thank you. So for eastern Washington, like Brent mentioned, as the weather system moves east across the Cascades, for Wednesday into Thursday, we are looking at more of a widespread rain showers and higher chances of thunderstorm threat for Wednesday into Thursday. Thursday is going to be the day of the higher concern and higher threat. We're looking at 40% to 50% probability for those thunderstorm chances all across eastern Washington, most notably the northern half of the eastern Washington county areas. And then for North Idaho, Thursday does look like the day that will have the higher chances for thunderstorms, that 30 to 40% chance of thunderstorms. And these thunderstorms, comparative to what we saw last week, the difference here is going to be these are going to be moving quite a bit faster. So the threat here is going to be more for the lightning, the gusty winds, and small hail. So not as widespread chances for heavy rain on the eastern Washington and North Idaho side. But then we move into Friday and Saturday, and those chances start to diminish, become more isolated in nature. And similar to what Brent just said, we are going to see that warming trend under the building ridge over the weekend. And then similarly, Monday, I wasn't sure to color it elevated or not. It's going to kind of depend on what we see for isolated to scattered precipitation chances. But we do look like we're going to start to see hot and dry conditions developing early into early next week. So if we jump over to the hazards, there's nothing to show right now. We don't have any hazards out at the moment, but we'll continue to take a look there. Starting with the weather elements for day one, so this is for Tuesday today, wanted to highlight the wind speed on the left and wind gust on the right. So some of these, it doesn't capture all of the highest wind gusts, unfortunately, with the frontal passage, but you can see some of those winds starting to pick up in the gusts through this afternoon on the right-hand side for Tuesday through the Cascade Gaps and South Central Washington. And then if we go to day 2 on Wednesday to look at the winds, you can start to see the winds picking up a little bit more in the afternoon on Wednesday with that frontal passage. Also on Wednesday, wanted to hit the probability of thunder chances, probability of lightning. That right-hand side, this is going to be that Wednesday between 11 a.m. and 11 p.m. time frame. So there's quite a bit of chances for widespread probability of thunder and lightning. Like Brent was saying, across Western Washington, that northern portion of Western Washington and the North Cascades, spreading east into the north central part of Washington, Okanogan County, Stevens Ferry County. And then also touching on the chance of wetting rain. So for the Tuesday evening into Wednesday morning is on the left-hand side of the graphic. And so you can see a lot of Western Washington has higher chances of that wetting rain. And for Western Washington, that's going to be around 1/4 of an inch. Whereas on the eastern part of Washington, we move into, on the right-hand side, Wednesday through Wednesday night, we start to see some increasing chances for wetting rain. In eastern Washington, wetting rains can be about 1/10 of an inch of rain. And so we're starting to see those thunderstorms potentially produce more precipitation. And then for Thursday, day 3, again, starting on the wind here, you can see the higher wind gusts as that frontal passage continues to push through, the weather system pushes through, we start to see those wind gusts through the Cascade Gaps pick up quite a bit, 20 to 35 miles an hour for the wind gusts, and then across eastern Washington. So we can start to see some stronger wind gusts, which can be a concern after rounds of thunderstorms and lightning. And then for also on Thursday, touch on the probability of thunder. So again, the whole weather system's kind of shifting eastward. So you see the higher chances shifting east. This is for Thursday. So Thursday afternoon and evening on the right-hand side, those thunderstorm chances are in the 30 to 40% chance range for thunderstorms. And then again, the chance of wetting rain, kind of diminishing a little bit on the Western Washington side, and Eastern Washington, we're starting to see those percentage chances increase with the more widespread precipitation with the thunderstorm chances as we move east. So touch on the QPF as a whole. This is the day 1 through 3 forecast for QPF. And so you can see, like Brent mentioned, these higher purple values, that's 1 inch to almost 2 inches for that forecast period of the day 1 through 3 across the North Cascades there, and even parts of the foothills over there in Western Washington, those higher terrain pockets there. And it moves east. We got a lot of the darker greens here. This is over 1/4 inch of rain, and then even some blues up into North Idaho. That's 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch of QPF over the next 3 days. And then I'm going to hand it to Brent, and we'll talk about some of the trends, and we'll start with Ore Creek.
All right, so this will show kind of the warmer day today, and then we definitely that cool off when the front comes through. And obviously our RHs go way up, and with excellent recoveries every night, although we have been having those, and that just will continue. But with the precip chances then again showing mostly on Wednesday and then bleeding into Thursday. Then pretty benign until you get towards the end of the week, through the weekend and into next week, where you see just every day is a little bit warmer, a little bit drier. And by Monday into Tuesday, we're looking at RHs. This is up in obviously the southern part of the Cascades for Ore Creek. You know, RH is down into the 20s, maybe as low as 20. As we get closer, that we'll have to see if that can even drop below 20% there, with temperatures into the 90s, especially in the elevated valleys. And so that's what we're looking for. And whether those areas, particularly in the southern western Cascades, get as much rainfall or not. If we get an inch of rain down there, then this will just, won't be an elevated concern at all, but just start to dry things out. But if they do get missed, then we'll have to watch out for that.
Okay, thank you. I'll move over to Nespelem. It's in fire weather zone 702. So similar to what Brent was talking about today, it looks like we're going to warm up the temperatures, but then we will see that cooling trend and then have that good humidity recovery for the next several days with those rain and thunderstorm chances. And you can really see for this part of north central Washington, Wednesday and Thursday will be those main highlight days to watch for the thunderstorm and rain chances. But the temperatures will remain somewhat cool over the next couple days through the end of the week, with the humidity recoveries doing quite well in the upper 20s to low 30s. But then starting Friday, it looks like we'll start to see that drastic warming and drying trends start to settle in with, the winds aren't going to be too much of an issue on the whole, but we are looking at warming and drying trend, again, dependent on how much rainfall they do see over the next 48 hours or so. And then the next point I wanted to pick, North Idaho. There's not anything real good right around Lake Pend Oreille for that Lightning Creek fire. So I thought this one might be somewhat representative. So for the next, today, we do see the kind of benign, mild weather, but then Wednesday into Thursday, pretty rapid, sharp increase in those chances for thunderstorms and rain chances, which also do come with the higher humidity values. But then we do start to see that warming and drying trend late in the week into the weekend. So again, the concern here is going to be for that thunderstorm and lightning chances that could ignite or spread any current and ongoing fires. The next 8 to 14 day outlook, as a general overview, we are still leaning towards the above normal temperatures, so in that 40 to 50% range there, and then a little hint of the above normal precipitation with some near normal chances for the western half of Washington in the next coming days, with that warming and drying trend settling in. And then I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording, and if there's any questions, I'll let you all raise your hand.